Transitions are pivotal moments in life, aren't they? Whether it's starting a new job, stepping into a leadership role, or even embarking on a personal journey, these are the times that challenge us to adapt, grow, and excel. But let me ask you this: how do you feel when you're on the brink of something new? Is it excitement? Maybe a hint of fear, or perhaps a mix of both? These feelings are normal because transitions hold immense potential. They can define the trajectory of our lives if we handle them wisely. Now, imagine this. You're stepping into a new role, and all eyes are on you. People are looking for leadership, for decisions, for clarity. What do? Do you charge ahead blindly, hoping for the best? Or do you take a moment to prepare yourself? This is where it all begins, not with action, but with preparation. Preparing yourself for a new challenge is about more than just brushing up on skills or gathering facts. It's about looking inward and grounding yourself in your strengths, values, and goals. Ask yourself, what unique abilities do I bring to this situation? Where have I excelled in the past, and how can I apply those lessons now? But preparation also means acknowledging areas where you might need to grow. Think about the times when you faced setbacks. What were the underlying causes? Were there gaps in knowledge or skills? Recognizing your limitations isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. It shows that you're willing to learn and evolve. When you prepare yourself in this way, you're not just ready for the external challenges. You're building an inner foundation of confidence and resilience. And this brings us to the next step: learning. Have you ever entered a new environment and felt completely out of place? Maybe the culture was different, the dynamics unfamiliar, or the expectations unclear. That's the reality of stepping into something new. You don't know what you don't know. But here's the thing: learning is your greatest ally in those moments. It's not just about collecting information. It's about understanding the nuances of your new surroundings. Who are the key players? What are the unspoken rules? What does success look like here? Learning quickly doesn't mean overwhelming yourself with every piece of information available. It's about being strategic. Imagine you're assembling a puzzle. You don't start by picking up random pieces. You begin with the edges, the corners, the parts that give structure to the whole. Similarly, in a new situation, focus on the most critical aspects first. What are the immediate challenges you need to understand? Who can offer you the insights you need? And here's a pro tip: listen more than you speak. People appreciate being heard, and their perspectives can guide you in ways you might not expect. But as you gather information, remember that knowledge alone isn't enough. You need to apply it effectively. And that's where strategy comes into play. Think about this. Every situation is unique, and no single approach works for all of them. Imagine you're navigating a terrain. Would you approach a desert trek the same way you tackle a mountain climb? Of course not. Each environment demands its own strategy, and the same is true for new roles or opportunities. So, how do you craft a strategy that fits the situation? Start by assessing where you are. Is this a time for bold action, like a startup where you need to build from scratch? Or is it a situation that requires careful realignment, like joining a team that's lost its way? Perhaps you're stepping into a role where sustaining success is the goal, maintaining what already works while adding incremental improvements. The key is to understand the context and adjust your approach accordingly. When you match your strategy to the situation, you show that you're not just reacting, you're leading. You're taking the time to understand what's needed and responding with purpose and precision. It's a mindset that sets you apart and positions you as someone who doesn't just survive transitions but thrives in them. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered so far. Preparing yourself is about grounding yourself in your strengths and addressing your growth areas. Accelerating your learning means immersing yourself in your new environment, focusing on what matters most, and being an active listener. And finally, crafting a strategy that aligns with the situation ensures that your actions are intentional and impactful. Now think about a transition you're facing or one you've recently gone through. How did you approach it? Were you proactive in preparing yourself? Did you take the time to learn the landscape? And most importantly, did you align your actions with the unique demands of the moment? Transitions aren't just about reaching the next milestone. They're about shaping your journey, your growth, and your legacy. So, as you stand on the edge of your next beginning, ask yourself this: how will you rise to meet the challenge? Will you embrace the opportunity to learn, adapt, and excel? Will you use this moment to not only step forward, but to step up? The answers to these questions will define not just your success in this transition, but the person you're becoming. Transitions are not the end of something. They're the beginning of everything that's possible. Prepare yourself, learn quickly, and align your strategy with the situation. And remember, every great journey begins with a single step, but it's how you take that step that makes all the difference. Let's imagine for a moment that you've stepped into a new role, or perhaps a new chapter in life. You've done the hard work of preparing yourself, understanding your strengths and areas for growth. You've accelerated your learning, absorbing the dynamics of your new environment. You've even crafted a strategy that fits the situation. But here's the question: how do you build momentum? How do you ensure that your first steps create ripples of impact that extend far beyond the present moment? This is where the idea of securing early wins comes into play. Think about how powerful a small success can be. Whether it's completing a project ahead of schedule, resolving a lingering issue, or simply gaining the trust of your team, these early wins are more than just accomplishments. They're statements of intent. They show that you're capable, focused, and ready to make a difference. But more importantly, they build confidence, not just in you, but in everyone around you. So, how do you identify these early wins? Start by looking for opportunities where your efforts can create visible, meaningful results. It might be addressing a challenge that has been ignored for too long, or delivering on a promise that others have been hesitant to tackle. The key is to focus on actions that resonate with the people you're working with. These wins should solve real problems and demonstrate that you're paying attention to what matters. But remember, early wins aren't just about doing something quickly. They're about doing something that sets the tone for your approach. Are you collaborative, innovative, persistent? These early actions become the foundation for your reputation in this new role. And as you build momentum, you'll find that people start to rally around you, creating a sense of shared purpose and enthusiasm. Now, as you're securing these early wins, another crucial element comes into play: aligning with your boss or key stakeholders. Think about this for a moment. How often do misunderstandings arise because expectations weren't clearly defined? How many times have relationships faltered because people assumed they were on the same page, only to realize they weren't? Building alignment is about more than just having a good relationship with your boss. It's about understanding their priorities, their concerns, and their vision for success. When you take the time to have those open, honest conversations, you're not just clarifying expectations. You're building trust. You're showing that you value their perspective and are committed to working toward shared goals. But here's the trick: alignment isn't a one-time task. It's an ongoing process. As circumstances change, as you learn more about your role in the organization, you'll need to revisit these conversations. What are the emerging challenges? How can you adjust your approach to stay aligned with the bigger picture? This level of communication creates a partnership, one where both you and your boss are invested in each other's success. Finally, let's talk about achieving alignment within the organization itself. Imagine a car where the wheels aren't properly aligned. It might move forward, but not efficiently. There's friction, wasted energy, and eventually, the whole system could break down. Organizations are no different. Without alignment, even the best intentions can lead to confusion, inefficiency, and missed opportunities. So, how do you achieve alignment? Start by examining the key elements: strategy, structure, systems, and skills. Are they all pointing in the same direction? Is there clarity about the goals, the roles, and the resources needed to achieve them? Often, you'll find areas where misalignment is creating barriers to success. It could be outdated systems, unclear processes, or skills gaps that need to be addressed. As you work toward alignment, remember that it's not just about fixing what's broken. It's about creating a culture where alignment becomes the norm. This requires clear communication, consistent priorities, and a shared sense of purpose. When everyone understands how their efforts contribute to the bigger picture, you unlock a level of energy and focus that's hard to reflect on this journey so far. You've prepared yourself, learned quickly, and crafted a strategy. Now you're building momentum with early wins, creating alignment with your boss, and setting the stage for organizational success. Each step builds on the one before, creating a sense of progress and possibility. But transitions are about more than just accomplishing tasks. They're about creating a legacy. As you secure early wins and build alignment, you're not just shaping your own success. You're shaping the success of the people and the organization around you. This isn't just about the first 90 days. It's about the foundation you're laying for everything that comes after. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, what early wins can I achieve that will inspire confidence and create momentum? How can I build stronger alignment with the people who matter most? And how can I ensure that my actions contribute to a larger sense of purpose and progress? Transitions aren't just challenges to be overcome. They're opportunities to create something meaningful. And when you approach them with intention, focus, and a commitment to making a difference, you'll find that the possibilities are endless. As we continue to navigate the complexities of new beginnings, let's consider one of the most pivotal aspects of success: the people around you. No matter how skilled, knowledgeable, or prepared you are, your ability to succeed in any transition depends heavily on the team you build and the relationships you cultivate. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly felt part of a high-performing team? What was it that made the experience so effective, so fulfilling? Now think about the opposite. What happens when a team isn't aligned, motivated, or supported? Building your team is not just about filling roles. It's about creating an ecosystem of trust, collaboration, and shared purpose. When you step into a new role, you inherit a team, and with it, a set of dynamics, challenges, and opportunities. Your first task is to understand where the team stands. Who are the key players? What are their strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations? Sometimes you'll find hidden talent waiting to be unleashed. Other times, you might encounter misalignment or even resistance. This is where your leadership truly matters. Building a high-performing team isn't about making wholesale changes immediately. It's about fostering an environment where people can thrive. Start by clarifying roles and expectations. Do people know what's expected of them and how their contributions fit into the bigger picture? Next, look for opportunities to energize your team. Celebrate small victories, recognize individual contributions, and create a sense of momentum. When people feel valued and engaged, they're more likely to rise to the occasion. But let's not sugarcoat it. Sometimes, difficult decisions are necessary. There may be instances where team members aren't the right fit for the challenges ahead. Handling these situations with empathy and fairness is critical, but so is acting decisively. Your goal is to build a team that not only supports your vision, but actively helps you achieve it. Once you've started building your team, the next challenge is to extend your influence beyond it. Success in any role doesn't happen in isolation. It requires collaboration, support, and sometimes negotiation with a broader network of stakeholders. So, let me ask, how strong are your alliances? How often do you take the time to build trust with the people who can help or hinder your success? Creating alliances is about relationships, not transactions. It's about understanding the goals, concerns, and motivations of the people around you, and finding ways to align them with your objectives. Start by identifying your key stakeholders. These could be peers, direct reports, customers, or even external partners. Once you know who they are, invest in those relationships. Schedule conversations, ask questions, and genuinely listen. What do they need? What challenges are they facing? How can you support them in achieving their goals? Building alliances is also about managing perceptions. People want to feel that you're reliable, approachable, and fair. Consistency in your actions and communication goes a long way in establishing credibility. When people trust you, they're more likely to support your ideas, offer help when needed, and even advocate for your success. But alliances aren't just about collaboration. They're also about navigating conflicts. Let's be honest, there will be disagreements, competing priorities, and moments of tension. Your ability to handle these situations with grace and diplomacy can make all the difference. Focus on finding common ground, understanding different perspectives, and working towards solutions building your team and cultivating alliances. There's another dimension you mustn't overlook: managing yourself. In the whirlwind of a transition, it's easy to become consumed by tasks, meetings, and expectations. But let me ask you this: how often do you take a step back to reflect on your own well-being, your mindset, and your priorities? Managing yourself is about balance. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. Make time to recharge, whether through exercise, hobbies, or simply spending time with loved ones. But it's also about self-awareness. Are you reacting to challenges with clarity and composure, or are you letting stress cloud your judgment? Are you staying true to your values, or are you getting lost in the pressure to perform? Finally, managing yourself is about resilience. Transitions are rarely smooth. There will be setbacks, frustrations, and moments of doubt. How you respond in these moments defines not just your success, but your character. Cultivate habits that help you stay grounded, whether it's journaling, meditation, or seeking advice from mentors. Remember, leadership isn't about never falling. It's about getting up stronger each time you do. As we reflect on these points, think about how they apply to your own journey. Are you actively building a team that supports and amplifies your vision? Are you investing in the relationships that can make or break your success? And most importantly, are you taking the time to manage yourself with the care and intentionality that true leadership requires? Transitions aren't just about reaching the next milestone. They're about transformation. By focusing on your team, your alliances, and your own well-being, you're not just stepping into a new role. You're stepping into a better version of yourself. And that, more than anything, is the foundation for lasting success. As we come to the final steps of navigating this successful transition, let's step back and think about the bigger picture. Up to this point, we've talked about preparing yourself, learning quickly, aligning with your situation, securing early wins, building your team, and creating alliances. But here's the question: how do you take everything you've learned and ensure not only your success, but also the success of everyone around you? How do you create a lasting impact that goes beyond the first few months? This is where the idea of expediting everyone comes into play. Leadership isn't just about your progress. It's about enabling others to progress with you. Think of a great leader you admire. Chances are, they didn't just achieve individual success. They inspired and empowered those around them to reach new heights. That's what it means to expedite everyone. It's about creating an environment where people can learn, grow, and perform at their best. Start by identifying the barriers that might be holding others back. Are there processes that are slowing people down? Are there skill gaps that need to be addressed? Perhaps there's a lack of clarity about priorities or goals. As a leader, your job is to remove those obstacles. Streamline processes, provide resources, and ensure that everyone understands how their work contributes to the larger mission. When people feel supported and empowered, they're not just more productive. They're more engaged and motivated. But expediting others isn't just about removing barriers. It's about setting the tone. As a leader, your behavior sets the standard for what's expected. If you're open to feedback, your team will be too. If you're committed to learning and growth, your team will follow suit. By modeling the values and behaviors you want to see, you create a culture of continuous improvement and shared success. Once you've laid this foundation, the question becomes, how do you sustain momentum? How do you ensure that the progress you've made during this transition doesn't fizzle out, but instead becomes the new normal? Sustaining momentum requires a focus on the long-term vision. What are the key priorities for the next phase? What systems or habits can you put in place now to support future success? One way to sustain momentum is by regularly revisiting your goals and strategies. Just as you assessed the situation at the beginning of your transition, take time to reflect on what's working, what's not, and what needs to be adjusted. Transitions are dynamic, and the ability to adapt is what separates beyond the first 90 days. Let's talk about legacy. Transitions aren't just about achieving immediate results. They're about setting the stage for long-term success. What kind of leader do you want to be remembered as? How do you want your team, your organization, and even your community to look back on the work you've done? Creating a legacy starts with intention. It's about defining your values and ensuring that your actions align with them. It's about building relationships and systems that will outlast your tenure. And most importantly, it's about leaving things better than you found them. Whether it's a stronger team, a more aligned organization, or simply a culture of excellence and respect, your legacy is the mark you leave behind. So, as we bring this journey to a close, let's reflect on the steps we've taken together. Preparing yourself, accelerating your learning, aligning with your situation, securing early wins, building your team, creating alliances, expediting everyone, sustaining momentum, and crafting a legacy. These aren't just strategies for success. They're a blueprint for becoming the kind of leader who doesn't just navigate transitions but thrives in them. Now, let me ask you, as you face your next transition, how will you rise to the occasion? Will you step forward with confidence and clarity? Will you take the time to empower others, sustain momentum, and create a legacy of lasting impact? Because in the end, transitions aren't just about what you achieve. They're about who you become in the process. And that, more than anything, is the true measure of success. As we approach the final pillars of mastering any significant transition, let's pause and think about the importance of renewal and growth. You've worked tirelessly to understand your new environment, build relationships, and deliver results. But let me ask you this: how do you ensure that this journey isn't just about reaching a destination, but also about continuing to evolve? How do you keep yourself energized, focused, and open to the endless possibilities ahead? The first step is maintaining personal discipline. Transitions often demand immense effort, and it's easy to lose yourself in the whirlwind of tasks, expectations, and decisions. But discipline isn't just about staying productive. It's about being intentional. Are you managing your time effectively? Are you prioritizing the activities that create the most value, both for your role and for yourself? Think about the habits and routines that ground you. Maybe it's starting your day with reflection, setting clear goals, or even finding moments of quiet amidst the chaos. Discipline is also about recognizing when to step back and recharge. Overworking yourself might yield short-term results, but it's not sustainable. Leadership requires stamina, and that stamina comes from a balance of effort and renewal. Personal discipline also extends to how you handle challenges. When faced with setbacks, do you react impulsively, or do you take a moment to think critically and act with purpose? The ability to remain composed under pressure isn't just a skill. It's a discipline cultivated through self-awareness and practice. As you solidify your personal discipline, the next question becomes, how do you balance short-term demands with long-term goals? The urgency of transitions often pulls us into the immediate, solving problems, meeting deadlines, delivering quick wins. But true leadership is about keeping one eye on the horizon. Think of it this way: short-term actions are like building blocks, while long-term goals are the blueprint for what you're constructing. Without a blueprint, the blocks might create something functional but uninspiring. With a clear vision, however, each action becomes part of something meaningful. Balancing these demands requires focus. Are your daily efforts aligned with the bigger picture? Are you setting aside time to think strategically, even when the pressures of the present feel overwhelming? It also requires flexibility. Long-term goals should guide you, but they shouldn't trap you. As circumstances evolve, so should your plans. Leadership isn't just about sticking to a course. It's about knowing when to adjust. Let's talk about the importance of creating a self-sustaining system. At some point, your transition will no longer be new. You'll settle into your role, and the foundations you've laid will start to take shape. But here's the critical question. How do you ensure that what you've built continues to thrive, even without constant intervention? Creating a self-sustaining system means putting processes, structures, and people in place that can operate effectively without you micromanaging every detail. It's about empowering others to take ownership of their roles and decisions. When people feel trusted and equipped, they don't just perform, they innovate. Think about the culture you're fostering. Is it one of collaboration, transparency, and continuous improvement? Or is it overly dependent on you? A self-sustaining system requires letting go of control and focusing on leadership rather than management. It's about guiding from the front while enabling others to lead in their areas of expertise. And here's the real beauty of creating such a system. It frees you to focus on what's next. Whether it's tackling new challenges, expanding your influence, or simply deepening your impact, you can do so knowing that the foundations you've laid are strong and enduring. So, as we bring this journey to a close, let's reflect one last time. Personal discipline keeps you grounded and intentional. Balancing short-term demands with long-term goals ensures that your efforts today build the future you envision. And creating a self-sustaining system ensures that your impact endures, extending far beyond your immediate role. Let me leave you with this thought. Transitions are not just moments of change. They are opportunities for transformation. They challenge us to grow, to lead, and to create something lasting. So, as you face your next transition, don't just aim to succeed. Aim to inspire, to empower, and to leave a legacy that speaks not just to what you've achieved, but to who you've become. Because in the end, that's the true essence of leadership.